Hi Sagittarius, I hope you're doing great today. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. I hope you guys all realize what an unbelievable year we are about to have for 2020. Sag, yes. Cancer, Capricorn eclipses are ending, going into Gemini, Sagittarius. Yes, lots happening for you guys. Honestly, this is a great year for you guys to sort out and transform your finances and your belongings. It's a really powerful period for starting fresh, rebuilding, and making significant improvements in your income, in your spending, in your self-esteem, in your comfort, in everything that makes you feel secure, your security levels, right? You're way more disciplined than usual, and you're gonna find it really enjoyable, actually, and satisfying to build something solid and substantial for yourself in 2020. I'm really excited for you for this. So let's see what your crowning is, and then we're gonna get right into pulling a few layers of a course of action spread, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. Look at what your crowning is. 10th house, the world. The 10th house is the house of work, guys. And that's what I was just talking about. You guys are shaking it up in the career area. This is an ambitious card. It's about owning the world and just being on top of it, honestly. I mean, this is the best card to have for when you need to be confident in what you do and to go really for what you want, and like nothing less kind of energy. But remember now, the 10th house is a Capricorn house, right? So it indicates that you're about to put forth some sort of diligent and very concerted effort, right? You're going to climb and advance yourself and whatever it is that you're focused on, right? Which is really good. But it does mandate that you end up looking at the big picture, because remember, who rules Capricorn? Saturn, right? And Saturn requires us to tell the truth and just to be honest and understand that you have to be very honest, not only externally, but also internally. It's a great time to get very, very honest with yourself, really just honest with you. And you are going through that, you're definitely, and Chiron's going to be there to help everybody go through, and the thing is this, when we're talking about like the self-growth that's necessary to bring this energy to fruition, it's about being able to admit where you need to grow, even if only to yourself. It's just even more valuable that way, actually. And Chiron offers you this gift as it moves in harmony with your sign this year, and many years to come, actually, I have to tell you. Because the North Node in your partnership sector has a similar effect. And we're going to talk about relationships a little later. And there you're going to be learning to take yourself a little less seriously while investing more time and energy into understanding someone important to you. So there's definitely going to be this crossing over benefit of you really getting very honest and in touch with yourself and what you need, and just showing up as your best self. I mean, beautiful, beautiful energy. I really like that. So the course of action spreads that I'm going to be pulling one for career, one for yourself, and one for relationship for all of 2020. I'm not going to be dealing with every single little transit. So that would be a very long video and no one would watch that, right? But I just thought it would be fun to just hit on these houses and get some highlights of what you guys are going to be dealing with this year and just weaving the energies in as we go along. I'm still going to be doing January. I'm going to be doing the read for January, discussing the transits a little more closely next week, okay? We're going to pull apart these energies. I mean, honestly, this is a big year. It's a big year for us, Sagittarius, because I'm a Gemini. So we're going to be holding hands going into this all of these changes together, but it's all good. It's all good stuff. The focus is going to be on us. So let's see what we have. So the course of action spread, like I said, is a 4-card spread. The first one is going to be your current or core energy. Beautiful. We got the Sun. What to keep your eye out for. Queen of Swords. The course of the action here that you should take for your near future is the Page of Swords reverse, and the outcome position is the Fool. Now, keep in mind, when I pull these spreads, this Fool, the outcome energy is based on current energies right now. All right? And it could always be changed because we're energetic beings and we have free will. But regarding your career, come on, how cool is this? I mean, let's just talk about the Sun for a minute. I mean, Sag, you're going to be discovering some new or untapped resources thanks to Jupiter moving through your money sector most of the year. I mean, Jupiter gave you some real confidence boost this last year while it transited your sign, Most of 2020, though, Jupiter's encouraging you to discover new ways to boost your income and feelings of security, as well as how to really enjoy yourself while you do it. You know, I mean, this is really great. You might need to let go of something, though, that's been weighing you down. In January, the January Saturn-Pluto alignment that I talked about in the last reading in your resource sector can point you precisely in the direction of what needs to go. You know, fortunately, the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction from March to November is going to be providing you the drive and encouragement to rebuild something that you need to take apart right now to improve, grow, and really thrive in whatever it is that you're focused on right now. You're just gaining a much more realistic understanding of what you can do, and the results are going to be really you ultimately feeling a greater sense of self-worth, a greater sense of self-esteem. I mean, this is beautiful developments regarding your earning power are going on here, Sagittarius, honestly. This is likely going to be a very profitable and productive year for you. You're more confident, you're very enthusiastic about your earning, and there could be a very satisfying focus on boosting like your natural talents here. So your income might increase, or at least opportunities to improve your future financial situations are going to come up. Really good. Many of you are going to be receiving a really awesome gift from somebody, or some sort of purchase or bonus might come your way, expanding your resources. Really, really good stuff. I mean, I like it because by the time Saturn leaves the house permanently in December, self-evaluation regarding your finances is pretty much going to be over, and you're ready to finally apply what you've learned. So I really like that. I mean, this is just ultimately like good, solid. Because not only are you going to be making money, but you're going to be happy doing it. And you're going to feel like you're on the right path. I mean, that's what the sun is all about. You know, and the thing is, guys, your ruler Jupiter is busy and empowered this year. Really, most notably, it aligns with Pluto and Saturn and harmonizes with Neptune in 2020 this whole year. And, you know, Jupiter's your ruler. So this can be material benefits related to your home, to your family, to anything having to do with real estate. You know, anything in that money sector as well is going to end up benefiting all these areas of your life, improving your home life. You know, because the money can tie, you know, better income ties to like a better home life and better attitude towards money and talents. You know how it connects, right? So you really want to look for opportunities to turn around any sort of difficult things that you might be feeling right now, because you have tremendous support this year as you take charge of your finances and you develop your talents. I mean, really tune into what your talents are. Something to keep your eye out for is the Queen of Swords energy. So the Queen of Swords is somebody who has somebody figured out as soon as they walk in the room, before they even open their mouth, right? I mean, that is as a person, but as a situation, this could be something that shows up as something that rings very true to you, something that you feel like you really, really need, okay? And this is what I just want to mention about this. From May to June, if this has to do with you feeling like you need to purchase something or make an investment, or something is going to show up that's going to seem very glitz, glammy, and like a sure thing. And just keep in mind this time period from like May to June, it may not be the best time to make like big purchases with Venus retrograde, or big investments, big changes in any kind, sign any kind of big contracts. I mean, the year in general, the general sense is excellent for these things, you know, but just be careful of the May to June. Something showing up around that point, seeming a little too good to be true. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it maybe is or isn't. It's keep an eye out for it, read the fine print. Not the best time, May to June, for you, okay? Just keep that in mind. Best course of action for you to do in the near future is the Page of Swords reverse. So this is telling me that you're involved in a situation right now that you're going to need to be making some changes in. And while you make these changes, it's very important that you keep whatever your plans are very close to your chest. Because the Page of Swords indicates a new cycle. So this is a new venture that you're going on. And swords upright, that's truth and that's words. It's communicating. Now in the reverse, you know, depending on the spread, it can indicate, obviously, an untruth, right? But here I'm getting that it's words that you're keeping very close to the chest. And this is the recommendation here, right? The energies are recommending that whatever it is that you're moving forward in, because you are building, you're adding to yourself. Sagittarius, you just are. I mean, with the Jupiter influence, if you're not adding to your life and you're in a stagnant space, you really need to figure out where your block is for real. Like, find out what else you have in your chart and, you know, see where your blockage might be happening. Because honestly, the archetype of Sagittarius, it's like the doors are flying open for career. Truly, actually other parts of your life as well, but certainly for career. So I'm getting that you're making these changes, but you need to keep your plan really close to the chest. Come on, can we get more positive than this? I don't think so. I love the Fool. The Fool is all the cards in one. They say it's zero. I don't know. I think it's all the cards in one. This is you taking a calculated risk, willingness to go out on the limb. Even if you're scared to death, doesn't matter. This is you taking a chance. And the Fool upright, it goes well. This is all good. This is all good. I kind of don't even want to pull, I don't want to even pull any qualifiers. I don't want to pull any qualifiers. I just feel like, you know, let me just pull. Why not? Let's pull like one or two for the Queen of Swords. Keep your eye out for. I mean, you're just like a happy camper right now. Anyway, you're happy with where the direction of things is going in your career. We're only in career right now. I do feel like, yeah. The Strength card, the Hermit energy. Just pull one more. Yeah. So, I mean, I like these because I feel like somebody is going to be presenting you with something. They're going to come in fast because the Queen of any of the core cards, they come in pretty quickly. And this is about presenting a truth and this offer being promised to you and this offer being laid down in front of you and you being really strong in your energy and really being very introspective. The Hermit reverse is about going deep inside of yourself, taking mental space to think about the situation that's going on, and you're not talking to anybody about it. Like, this is the ultimate, like, shh, don't tell anybody card. Because the Hermit upright is quiet and introspective, but the Hermit will typically confide upright, you know, in their closest people. The Hermit reverse, nope. It's all happening very deep, very internal for you. So there's a lot going on very internal for you. And this internal processing here with this Four of Swords energy, is the Four of Swords energy is thinking about everything that you've been through up till now, really focusing on the really great aspects, getting rid of the stuff you don't need, and you planning out your next step. So again, this is another card that indicates you stepping in, leveling up into this new cycle. So I really like that. I just really like it. You're in a good space. You're going to end up in an even better space. Honestly, you have the World card, the 10th house. Okay. Honestly, congratulations, Sagittarius, for real. I mean, I think I've been getting really positive messages for you guys. And I know, listen, guys, these are general messages. Not everything's going to resonate. And certainly not everything is going to happen in a snap. You have to stay open to the energies. I mean, I do get a lot of like, this isn't happening for me and everything. Well, you need to really look at your chart and see where are the blockages. Look at your Black Moon Lilith placement, right? Look at your nodal energies. Really look at the other stuff that's going on. Honestly. And when it comes to career, you want to look at your, now it does depend. I don't want to blanket this. For some people, we need to pay more attention to the Jupiter and Venus energy. To other people, we need to pay more attention to the Mars energy when we're looking at their work house. But you also want to look at your second house placement, right? So look at that second house and 10th house and, you know, what's happening with Mars, Jupiter, and Venus, just to play it safe. And see what's happening there, you know? All right. So now we're going to pull some cards for yourself, okay? So, this year your daily routine is disrupted from time to time, but often enough for the better. Because you guys have Uranus in your 6th solar house, and I cannot, what the heck kind of shuffle was that? You do that over. You have Uranus in your 6th house. So, a lot of you can be really attracted to like alternative health pursuits this year and methods, or even different lines of work. And you can receive like unexpected bonuses or enjoy surprises in your work that help you advance your work more thoroughly. And you're going to be feeling this sense of gratefulness on such a deep level for this. New and innovative ways of just doing your daily life and work and health are happening here. You're definitely moving towards a more like irregular schedule, non-traditional hours, or like a more unconventional job or approach to your work. You're restless with routines, and you tend to answer to your internal rhythm rather than pay attention to society's and nature's rhythms. I mean, you are Sagittarius. I always say Sagittarians always have the bag packed at the door, right? But you guys are also the most moral archetype, meaning you just have the strongest sense of like what's right and wrong. But it's so important for you to just be able to do you and work, the way you want to. So work that's limiting or lifestyles that drag you down, and you approach, like, it's just not going to work. You approach tasks with a very erratic, like haphazard energy, and you work tirelessly. I can't even say this word at certain times, But anything that's dragging you down, you're just not going to feel like. Some of you might find yourself procrastinating at times, right? But this is about you really getting into a space within yourself where you feel like your life is offering you enough variety and unconventional approaches, because this is really going to be a time for self-discovery. Right? Oh, and for those of you who deal with clients in your work or business, you might experience increased interest in your services and more contacts in general from June forward. From June on. I mean, this is really a period of self-discovery for you guys, Sagittarius. So currently we have Temperance. Okay. What to keep an eye on is the 4 of Cups energy. I like that, to have something to keep your eye on for. That's a great piece of advice. The action that you should take in the near future is the Knight of Cups. Interesting. I'm doing the relationship spread next, but let's see how that goes. And the outcome is the 3 of Wands. More positive cards. Oh, wonderful. So the core right now, having to do with your sense of self, is Temperance. And Temperance, when it comes to your sense of self, is about really trying to find a balance between what you need, internally, and what you have to do. So it's an alchemical card. It's about this combining of your have-tos with your want-tos. Know what I mean? And you're in a space of really trying to figure out that balance right now in your life, which is really, really positive. And what to keep an eye on is the 4 of Cups energy. 4 of Cups energy is you identifying and now this can apply to absolutely any part of your life, where you're identifying a part of your life where you feel disappointed, very restless, and disillusioned by. This could have to do with a relationship, your career, a friendship, a family situation that's going on, really anything. But this sense of restlessness where you're realizing that you're just not willing to stay a part of it, a functional part of it, because of things just not lining up that really speak to you. I do call the 4 of Cups my checklist card, right? It's like where you're saying, well, because of A, B, and C, I cannot stay in this situation. I can't continue with this person. I can't continue with this friendship. I can't continue in this job, whatever it is. I can't continue not taking care of myself, or I can't continue doing this to myself, whatever it is. There's a sense of restlessness. But now, to keep an eye out for, you want to make sure that when you approach this energy, you want to make sure that you're being really honest with yourself, and you're very much in touch and in control of your own demons and your own scars and your own things. Really being so super honest with yourself underneath all of it. Why exactly are you not resonating with this situation? And really be in a space of understanding your motivations and your lack of motivations. Really, really important, right? To understand your part in this dynamic, whether it's a relationship, a job, maybe it's you acknowledging that you stayed at a job way past its expiration date. You stayed in a relationship way past its expiration date. you know, somebody is like a friend is just not acting the right way. And it's you getting in touch with, you know, what is it about you that even allowed you to stay in the situation that long, you know, understanding this expiration date sensibility, you know, do you pull out of things too quickly? Do you stay in things too long? You know, and really understanding that element while you're identifying also why you feel this restlessness in this particular area of your life. But regardless, this needs to change. And there is change happening, right? So that is something to keep an eye out for. Okay, it's a really good piece of advice because it's inevitable that that's going to be happening. And you are doing a lot of self-discovery this year. You really are. And you have Chiron, again, in there helping you out, which is the wounded healer, right? Now, action you should take in the near future. Knight of Cups, Sagittarius. All right, now this could be you giving your cup to a relationship, you deepening a commitment that you're in, you starting a new relationship, you going after a new position, going after a new job. This is making some really new solid, special, deep friendship with somebody. But anything that speaks to your heart space, I mean, what speaks to our heart space, right? Obviously, intimate relationships, our family connections, our friend connections, the work that we do, that we love. These are all things in our heart space, and that's a cup energy. And this indicates you being a little trepidatious as you go in, but taking that risk, because remember, the knights wear armor to protect themselves because they're feeling a little scared that they might get hurt, right? That's okay. That's okay. This is you totally taking the chance, though, here. Totally taking the chance. And when you do, look at this beautiful Three of Wands energy. This is you just looking at the landscape of the front of your life. It's like right out in front of you here. It's a beautiful, it's a Trinity card. The Three of Wands is a beautiful energy about planning the rest of your life. And you feel so abundant right now. There's a fire in your belly and there's such a heavy willingness. Now, you may not have arrived. The money may not be in your bank account just yet. It's coming. It is. Stay open, stay grounded, be super honest with yourself. Really work with Saturn, Sagittarius. Really work. It's not comfortable. It's not. It's that slow, that Saturn, Pluto coming in and squeezing us, right, to transform. And listen, we have a lot of Uranus energy happening, guys, too. Right, remember I mentioned the Uranus energy coming, and when we have Uranus, there are big surprises. So things that you don't expect to happen are going to be happening for you, and this is going to be entirely positive, and it's going to be changing the trajectory of your path. There's no question, and this switch is starting, this change is happening this year, because we're going to be going into our dynamic of the eclipses in the summertime. So we'll talk more about that as that gets closer. But I mean, I feel like you're in a really good space with a lot of really supportive energies, beautiful supportive energies for your sense of self, and for you to just do some really good healing. Get really honest with yourself about stuff, you know. Growth is good, but you can't change or work on what you can't admit, you know? That's the thing. That it doesn't just happen. And this year, you know, everybody's being pushed to really make some adjustments, and if they don't, the adjustments are going to be made for them. It's just the way it goes, you know. So to be forewarned is to be forearmed when it comes to this kind of stuff. Nothing to be scared of. It's all good. Seriously, it's all good. Let's talk about relationships now, okay? Some challenges, but great rewards come from partnering this year for you, Sagittarius. I mean, honestly, a new set of eclipses bring particular attention to issues of independence and partnership. So you may be turning over a new leaf in an existing relationship. Now, for those of you not in an intimate relationship, this could also certainly be a business relationship. Absolutely. You know, this is personal or business. This is like, it's a seventh house energy kind of thing. Yeah, but definitely, like either you're turning over a new leaf in an existing one or you're starting a new one. Okay, but a flood of emotional intensity in these areas of your life is very, very likely, especially around the eclipses like early June with the lunar eclipse in your sign, and then late November with the lunar eclipse in your partnership sector. right? Which has to do with the 7th house. And then mid-December with the solar eclipse in your sign again. So partnering is right for you, but you need to change things around to make it work for you better than it's been. So the movement this year and next is towards a stronger identity and a sense of purposefulness through close partnerships, you know, and just, again, you know, really being able to admit where you need to grow. I mentioned before. And you want to use the retrograde Venus period from mid-May to late June to reevaluate what it is that you want and love, as well as your relationship needs. And instead of forging ahead into unknown territory and just trying to always wing it, a lunar eclipse happens in your sign during this retrograde window, making it an especially potent time for seeing what's been missing in your life, especially in your relationships, okay? So like write that on your calendar, although I'm sure we're going to be talking about it to great nauseam between now and then. Okay, current or core in your relationship, we have the Death reversed. Okay, let's pull the cards and then see what to keep your eye out for. King of Swords energy. The action you should take in the near future, 3 of Cups. The outcome position, the Ace of Swords. Sagittarius, thank you for making your reading just so easy for me today. You're at the end of a cycle with something in your relationship. So this is, if it's not intimate, it's business. There is the end of a cycle here. For those of you not in relationships right now, this is the end of a cycle of you being single. Okay? So if you're not partnered, you're going to get partnered. If you are partnered and you're in a deep, committed, awesome relationship, other than this, you guys are kind of cycling out of a weird cycle, a weird time that you guys have been going through. Those of you in a weird relationship that's super unhealthy and not solid, things are probably ending right here. But there's a lot of emotion. So this goes back to that heavy emotional vibe that I was mentioning before. Because the Death energy, the Death energy is actually really good. It's Scorpio energy, and it's about Pluto. And Pluto's going to be front and center for us, right? So this is about transformation. So as soon as something ends, something begins, right? So it's about this, you know, if you're single, you're going to be meeting somebody. If you guys are in a committed relationship, you guys are going to be having this conversation, having this fight, quite possibly this whatever. But there's definitely an ending to part of something that you guys have been going through, some sort of cycle, you know, and the thing is, it needs to go. Okay, it needs to end the way it's been up till now. Now, if you're not dealing with somebody, Sagittarius, who is capable of entering a healthy phase with you, it's absolutely not going to last. The energies are just simply not going to allow it to last. This is not my opinion, so don't come after Jackie. This is what this energy means within this context of a spread, okay? If something doesn't have a firm foundation, it can't be rebuilt. If both people aren't equally involved, equally vested, and equally loving, not only of each other, but of themselves and the want for the relationship, it's not going to last. So something you need to keep an eye out for is the King of Swords. So this can be a pretty harsh energy. You could be dealing with an air energy, Sagittarius, of course, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but this is about truths coming in, but harsh truths coming in. And this is something that you have to keep an eye out for, some sort of harsh truth coming in that may completely shift the way you see things. Something that maybe you didn't realize to be true within this connection that may end up being quite important. For those of you who are single, this can be a truth that you're recognizing within yourself that you need to maybe look at and work on when it comes to relationships. Because, listen, let's call it what it is. I mean, and again, this is not my opinion, okay? This is simply what is indicated. The archetype of Sagittarians, besides being the travelers of the zodiac, besides being the most spiritual of the zodiac, you're also the bachelors and the bachelorettes of the zodiac, you know? It's super hard to keep a Sagittarian interested in the long term, like, and the reason is Sagittarius. First of all, I mean, those of you who've been watching me know, I love, love, love Sagittarians. Some of my closest friends are Sagittarians. Some of the best male relationships I've had in my life have been Sagittarians, where I'm still like have good relationships with them even years later. The thing is, it's very challenging to keep you guys enamored for a really great length of time because you have such a wanderlust about you in your soul. You have such a hunger to travel and you know, literally, right, in the 3D. And even if you can't do that, your interests are just so incredibly diverse, and you really do ache for like a true partnership in all of these things. But it ends up being this thing where it's almost hard to keep up with you, right? And so there ends up being disappointment somewhere along the path, right? And so, you know, when you're a very evolved Sagittarian, you know these things about yourself and you work it within your life, and you understand that there needs to be a certain level of independence. Is very important for a Sagittarian in a relationship. Autonomy, you know, where you're together in a partnership, but that you do both each maintain your individuality. Like, you guys can be best friends, you do a bunch of things together, you're the first one, the other one calls to share great news, you know, and all of that stuff. But like, the codependency really doesn't go well with the Sagittarian vibe, because Sagittarians by nature do crave this certain level of independence, right? So this might be something that you're actually recognizing about yourself, and how this might be, you know, something that you need to consider when you're thinking about your relationships, you know. And then we have the Three of Cups, which is the action that you should be taking in the near future, which is a celebration card of the heart space. This is you celebrating with somebody who means a great deal to you, celebrating with friends and family. I mean, this is a relationship card. So this is what you should be doing. And I mean, and the energy, everything that I mentioned, that's happening in the sky completely supports you partnering up this year. So if you're single, you're going to be partnering up. If you're partnered, you're going to be deepening it. You know, and if you're in a bad space, that's going to be ending. You're going to be meeting somebody new. I mean, relationship looks really good for you, Sag. You might go through a little bit of like a growing pain here and there, or some pain first before you have the beautiful part, because this is where you are right now, okay? So, yeah. But then look at the outcome. The Ace of Swords. I love it. This is such a positive energy. This is about truth. This is a new truth, a new start. A new start. And this is a new start with a new version of you, right? And that's exactly what I said before, is this is about, you know, you really analyzing your relationships and figuring out how are you going to be able to work the new version of yourself into your relationships, because you're changing. People change all the time, right? But there are some years, and sometimes some groups of years, depending on what your placement is, where there are some signs that grow exponentially quicker than others during given periods. For example, Cancer and Capricorn have just gone through crazy growth the past few years. More than the past few years. And guys, the changes are happening. We're ending a 34-year cycle. We're starting another 34-year cycle. We're ending the age of the pentacle energy, and we're entering the age of air energy. It's going to be all about changes and communicating differently and technology. Think about what air energy is, right? Think about, you know, Gemini and communicating and, you know, but, you know, who rules Gemini? Mercury. Mercury is all about communicating and technology, right? I mean, Uranus is also about technology, but Mercury is also, right? It's because in the way, which is how we communicate, right? And, you know, what else is there? Uranus rules Aquarius, right? And that's all about surprise. You know, we have a lot of heavy Aquarius influence this year going on. So we have lots of surprises. There's going to be heavy communication, heavy really looking at ourselves. Absolutely. And then we have Libra, which is ruled by Venus. So this is about love and connection and partnerships. So when you put all of that together, it's like beautiful connection right? Within relationships, and there being amazing surprises in there. So this is beautiful energy that we're going into. We're all going through that, but you especially, because we are going to be transiting into your energies come the summer. So this is really good. I really do. I like this for you. I mean, there's nothing I really even want to pull energies on. This is very clear. Yes, Sagittarius, thank you so much for joining me. Happy New Year. Happy 2020. I'm going to see you guys next week, though, because I'm going to do a separate spread just for January. So we could talk a little bit more specifically about the transits, and we could pull energies for that. Okay? So until then, you guys take care. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.